Welcome everybody back to another Boldcast reaction. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Carson.
And today we are watching Attack on Titan Season 4 episode... I'm not sure.
10?
10?
Yes.
Episode 10. What happened last time?
Last time we got the flashback to how our heroes of Paradis sort of arrived at where we saw them in the present day, and how they got all their technology and what led them to do this or to sort of get to here and all this stuff, and how it was even possible, how we met Yelena and got her backstory and everything. Onyakapon, is that his name? The black guy? Cool as shit. They're pretty cool. Yelena's creepy as hell, and now I guess we'll see what happens. And it ended off with Armin talking to Annie about Eren being crazy, and then Eren sort of reciting his own philosophy to himself in the mirror. Yeah. And we're gonna see what happens this time.
Yeah, and with that, we would ask you to please support the official release, manga, watch on legal platforms, buy stuff, I don't know, support the official release, come here to see what we have to say, not just to rewatch the show for free. And also, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, it really helps out our channel. And with that, let's get into it. Attack on Titan, Season 4, Episode 10. Let's go.
He's big. He's fucking big now.
Getting called out.
When he did the shingeki no kyojin.
Yeah, you're completely normal.
I love when Hanji calls him out for being a fucking weirdo. Holy shit, Eren. Meaning he wants to now? There's only 7, including this episode, 7 episodes left.
It's so weird.
There's no way they can fucking wrap all this shit up.
Was it just straight up? This is just like, they just have a few episodes of messing around, and then in the end they just release all those Titans and murdered every single person in the entire world. Then they could wrap it up they could wrap it up whenever they want.
That's true. I'm predicting that I'll be caught up to where I was in the manga this episode or next episode. I'm not sure. It depends on how fast things move, I think. A sound argument. You know what, Eren? You make a fair point.
2 years ago.
Hiruzu.
Huh.
Remember her?
Yeah.
Azuma.
Interesting. Well, okay then.
Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
When we first saw Mikasa's backstory. We never saw it.
No.
But we saw her mom covering it up for her.
What the fuck?
I don't know anything about all that.
Thinking about all the times she could have died.
I still don't get what a nation is, all these people. Do you think it's real? Do you think that they're like...
I mean, it would seem so.
We're both princesses. First time we've seen Eren smile this season.
Man, this lady just knows everything.
It's Mikke's still carrying it around. Ice burst stone. They finally mention it in canon. They never mentioned it anywhere but video games and shit. And like commercials.
Oh, I was just assumed that it was like some kind of like compressed air.
It is, but it's made from a special rock in the walls. That's what they're after. It's a special. Oh, Lady Mikasa! The princess of our people! The lost heir! A test run of the rumbling?
What do you mean a test run?
Oh, I think that was the display, the declaration of war. So now all three conditions have been met in present time, I suppose, if that's what they meant by test of the rumbling. Making a big decision for everyone on the walls there, Eren. In front of the queen.
He says it as he's in prison.
I can leave whenever I want, yeah. Holy shit, Eren. Leave it to Hanji to try and defuse the super tense situation. Holy fuck, Eren. He's unhinged. He like, there's... Oh. Fucking
See, but
sucks.
this also makes not a lot of sense. I would think that Zeke, being a guy, should just go around and impregnate a bunch of people, and then Historia won't have to spend her entire life being pregnant.
She is a queen regardless, so she was going to have children, but it's fucked up because she's a lesbian. She didn't want, like, Fuck you. Yeah. Fuck yeah, Niall. Shut his ass up. That's the problem, is if they wanted Zeke to do it, then they'd be afraid. It's a nice story. You better shut your fucking mouth, like... True.
See, now they're just being, like these people are just such pieces of shit. Seems like that's maybe not just...
They're building a fucking railroad? Is that Jean and Connie? Oh, this is prequel still. This is... That's sick. Mikasa. Thought it was Sasha for a second. Holy fuck, they're straight up like... Oh shit. Fuck. Good point, good point. Oh shit, steam engine. If only if it were that easy. Jean, you've always been the fill-in for Eren. Mikasa? We still don't know what the... Exactly, we don't know if you can. And because I like you, still, I have a crush. Oh yeah. Is Jean smarter than Eren? I guess so.
In all situations.
Kinda true. He's a good tactician. Someone that amazing. We don't want to lose in 13 years. True, true. Are you sure you want... Are you sure you're okay with that? Not only are you an idiot, but your family got turned into Titans by Zeke. I'd feel a little bit more apprehensive.
Well, maybe that's why he wants to.
Sasha's not a bad plan. If only. I love it. He's just pushing it on their faces. Who then? Flock. It's you.
No, that'd be even worse. It would just be the same as having Eren.
The opposite of a suicidal maniac. Guy who doesn't want to die no matter what. And just wants to kill everyone else.
Imagine if Sasha was the Titan, and then she...
Everyone's all blushing.
It's raining.
Man.
I'm not crying.
Yeah. But it's a terrible day for rain. Oh, present day now. It's so sad with fucking Historia, man. That's what I've been thinking since this whole episode. Mikasa, you gotta relax. True, true. He laughed. It's just what he does. He laughed when Hannes died too. He was kind of fucked up about it, but he did laugh.
確かめるんだ。話し合ってどうする？もしジークと同じ目的だったら。巨人化の兵団には選択肢がある。まさか信頼できる他の誰かを巨人にした。
Taking the Titans away from Eren. He knows you're thinking of that, clearly. Eren has welcome to Eren is the villain of Attack on Titan. They're just camping out in the forest of big-ass trees. Oh my god! And Levi's still just glaring at him, watching him like a fucking hawk. So like I said, Eren is now the villain of Attack on Titan. What do you think of that?
He's just... But it's, like, so hard to know because he's not talking to anyone, and he's so, like, closed off that you can't tell, like... Yeah, maybe he does have, like, maybe Mikasa's right. Maybe he does really care about them and he's still, like, doing his own secret plan, but he can't tell them because...
He has some memories that, like...
He knows things that they don't know, but he can't tell them. And he also, like, can't let them take the Titan from him. It's like a weird scenario where it's like, I feel like he probably does know what he's doing, but I don't like what he's doing, and neither does pretty much anyone else.
Yeah, but also it's, again, like, nobody knows what he knows, because he's not saying anything.
That's the other thing,
So, like, nobody knows if he is just holding back some super important information that he got from memories or from, like, a paths thing from the future. Maybe he inherited something from the Warhammer Titan that, like... also helped him, or talking to Zeke in their, like, secret meetings or whatever, if they, like... figured something out, like, through their connection, because, Royal-Blooded Titan plus Founding Titan equals deeper memories and shit like that. And stuff possibly of the future. So, like, we don't know what Eren's reasoning is, or if he really is just, like... If like... Okay, so he probably... Like, that's probably likely. He probably has seen something. And then, so is what he's doing, like, everyone I know is fucked, but maybe I could save people in the future, or maybe I can make peace in the future if I just keep going down this road, you know? Is it going to be a thing where he, like, they talked about that, about the island, like, taking all the hatred onto themselves so that all the world can just, like, fucking nuke them and then be at peace. Yeah. Is that going to be Eren? Is Eren going to be the island in that situation where all of the hatred of the world, he's gonna, like, fault, he's gonna loop in, like, force the, like, maybe if he can become the villain, then the island, then all of the people of Paradis, can, like, tell the rest of the world, hey, we're not doing this. Fucking Eren Yeager's here, and he's threatening to kill all of us, too. Let's join forces and fucking kill him. And it's just gonna be a repeat of history, kind of? Yeah. But in that case, then what happens when... Nothing will What change. Happens when all the Eldians in the walls become all the Eldians in the walls in Marley, or whatever. Like... It's
the same shit. That's not the way to solve it, which makes me think that that's not, like... that. I feel like that's not his plan.
But maybe there's something with Zeke... that, like, maybe that's the plan, but there's, like, an asterisk that, like, keeps it from repeating history. You know? Maybe it's something like that, and he just either is willing to sacrifice everyone, or is just being the villain. But, or, you know, because when he's talking to Hanji in the bars there... He doesn't... First of all, he's huge now. Like, he's imposing as a figure. Like, he's taller. Like, he's one of the taller people we know. He had a very
late growth spurt.
Serious growth spurt. Yeah, but, like, when he's talking to Hanji, that doesn't strike me as, I need to put on this act of being a villain. That strikes me as, I am crumbling under the pressure, and you fucking idiots have no idea what's going on. So... what are you gonna do then? If you're just gonna lock me in here, what the fuck is your plan? I'm over here, like, trying to save the world and trying to cobble things together and, like, make it work for us. And you're here locking me up, like, so much suspicion for what? What is your suspicion gonna get you? What if things go bad? What fucking cards do you have to play? Nothing, right? So you need me. So any plans that you make are basically bullshit because they're all just defending you from shit that you have no... way to deal with at all. What the fuck even are you? What are you gonna do? He's exactly like fucking... I made this comparison, I think last episode or the one before, that Eren is like One Punch Man or Superman, where like part of the thing in One Punch Man is he's so powerful, he's more powerful than anything, he can destroy anything in one punch, and we're so lucky that he is a good guy. And the same thing with Superman. It's like, what if he just like look at himself, look at all the people around him, realizes that they're different, and then there's like that separation there, and there's not this like need to protect or to save people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird. And then it's so messed up to see like everyone else's reaction to like, these are people who would like literally freaking die for each other.
Yeah.
And then Eren is just like putting them all in danger. Putting them into a place where they can get killed, which, I mean, it could have ended up like that no matter what.
Yeah.
But the fact that...
he literally did put, like...
Yeah, like...
He got one of them killed.
He literally did. And then he laughed about it, and obviously his laugh wasn't... Like, it's obviously because he's, like, freaking out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't blame Connie for being like, yeah, like, what the fuck was that? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like
me, for example, everyone was getting pissed at me like Mikasa did at Connie here when I said like, now you're just laughing over a corpse. It's like, turns out Connie literally thought the same thing because
and I think
he was laughing over somebody's corpse.
Fair for him to think that, even if that is the response, it's still.
And like clearly, like obviously, yeah, there's more to it than that.
But it's
but
just
it
like
still
a weird
is the
thing
response
because. I feel like part of the reason Eren's laughing is because he feels like it's his fault.
I think go ahead.
Also Connie is kind of like, yeah, like...
I think the reason he's laughing is, again, maybe it's a part of a theory thing. So, like, if we want to tie it into our theory of Eren knows something we don't, then, and because paths, the memories can reach into the future, and, like, we as we learned with Eren Kruger of, like, you need to protect, telling Grisha, you need to protect Mikasa and Armin, and then it's like... Wait, who's Mikasa and Armin? I don't know. And then it's like Eren's literally watching these memories, and there's like this weird like paradox happening here. So if the whole him laughing at Sasha dying is maybe it was like a confirmation of like, oh, this is the timeline we're in. This is like the series of events is going to play out this way. That means we're like, okay, if this person dies, then we're on this road. If this person dies, then we're on this road. And if nobody dies, then we're kind of fucked, because then like, you know, maybe he's seen enough to the point where he can be like... maybe it's a joyful laugh, and then he's like, oh shit, that means that things might be okay in the future, but that also means that all this bad shit is going to happen. Or I also think that it might have just been the way that he grieves. Well, like, a lot of people pointed that out in the comments.
That's what I was saying, like, previously he's laughed, but it's because he feels so... like, kind of pathetic about it, like,
yeah,
like, oh, this person died and I couldn't do anything about it, and like, it's just like shitty.
And I think also because Eren has kind of the main character syndrome, like in a weird way, like he's like the kind of guy who thinks that he's the main character of the story, sort of. He had that like reckoning where he talked with Shadis, where Shadis was like, I'm special, I'm all this shit, and then Eren, like, felt that way, heard that, and was like, you know what, maybe I'm not fucking special. But I think he, like, what I mean by this, where I'm going with this is, like, I think he also, there's a thing of him where he sees the dramatic irony of it, like, he sees sort of the poetic justice and how everything kind of wraps up and go, like, he's sort of thinking, like, how crazy is it that, like, I did all this and then Sasha gets shot, the most like, innocent person in our group. Innocent, I guess, she's killed people. But, like, you know what I mean. Like, and when Hannes died, it's like, like, I think that's partly why he laughed when Hannes died, was because, like, after all this time, so Hannes saves Mikasa and Eren from the Smiling Titan. All those years ago, they couldn't kill it, they just had to run. Now they're facing it again, and Hannes is, like, attacking, and Eren can help him, and they can take down this thing together. But Eren still is just a kid, and he can't do it, and Mikasa and Eren have to sit there and watch him get torn in half by the same Titan that they had to run away from previously. And it's like, just the irony of that, like the poetic injustice of it coming full circle and that being the thing. It's almost hilarious how it happens. It was definitely convenient from like a plot perspective or like a narrative perspective that Titan showed up then. But like for it all to come full circle in that case, there's like clearly that in the case with Sasha, more like still. So maybe it's that. I have a feeling that it's more like, oh shit, I know it's coming because of the whole memories thing.
I would be wondering though, even if the memories thing, like how much you'd be able to get out of future, like
with Zeke.
But he had.
Who knows?
Like, yeah, I guess.
They communicated with Zeke through letters, but
he never, like, went and touched Zeke.
That's true.
But who knows? But it just seems like you probably wouldn't get too much.
Maybe they did when they were on the blimp, like, leaving. Maybe. The Zeppelin. Or something. Or, like, maybe they had just some form of contact. Because all we needed to do before was just Eren and Historia needed to touch. And that was it. And then they like a bunch of flashes came. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's something like that. Regardless, as far as the other stuff that happened in the episode, all of the stuff with Historia to me is super fucking heartbreaking. So they had the thing of like Historia needs to inherit the Beast Titan and give a test of the rumbling.
Yeah.
And they don't want to do
and
that
have
because
a bunch
then
of children so that they can just keep fucking doing that.
But like if Historia becomes a Titan, then she only has 13 years to live. So she's basically has to decide, do I want to sacrifice myself for the sake of everybody? And then her answer obviously is yes.
Choice, yeah.
And although Historia has moved past that like self-sacrificing thing, it's still a part of her. I think it genuinely is a part of her that wants to do good and protect the people that she loves. She was taking it to a greater degree before when she was self-sacrificing and taking every opportunity to just fucking die in the line of duty.
Yeah.
Because she still needed to deal with all her problems. Now that she has, and her character arc is kind of full, she can, I think, make a clearer choice to protect everybody. And it's not as like...
But she does also seem pretty destroyed. She
does. And like losing Ymir, like they know now for sure that Ymir is dead. Like 100%. And it's, but like all the whole thing, that love story, what did you think of that whole thing? First, I want to get your thoughts before I like go on my tangent about it.
It just seems pretty sad. It just seems like she just fucking...
Incredible
like,
commentary.
It's just like he obviously cared for her, and then she's just like, well, he's probably better than anyone else.
Yeah.
And at least I know he's nice and cares for me.
Right? It's that's the problem is like, first of all, she's a lesbian. Like she might be bi, but like she clearly loved Ymir.
Yeah.
And they had a very clearly romantic relationship and affection towards each other. So for her to now... like the way it's funny the way their whole love story, like she and her husband's like story is described, it's like its own romance like drama, but then you see her face like it's like this perfect dead. Like coming of age, like he bullied her as a kid, but it turns out it was actually just to get her attention, and then he
like worked on the farm for years to make up for it,
and then but she's like, sitting there like if she was a normal heroine in like a romance, she'd be like, oh, he really does care, that type of shit. But she's not straight. Like she doesn't think of it like that. Like she doesn't feel that. As far as I know, she didn't look like she felt like that.
Well, also she's just been tasked to make a bunch of children.
Yeah, which she'll do. But it's clearly like she does. It's just so tragic to that it ended up like this. And then all these
fucking asshats over here
in the
like
military police.
And then what she thinks she's doing getting pregnant? What a fucking idiot! She's just trying to save herself. It's like no, she's trying to like ensure the future for all of you.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not you because you'll probably be dead, but other people.
It's just fucking sad because like when you see her face like at the barn at this moment where it's supposed to be like, hey, do you want to come inside for some iced tea or something? She's just like she's performing it, like she doesn't. It's fucking sucks because when I read that I really felt that because I'm like, oh my god, for everything Historia has gone through, for her to come to this where she's just breeding future heirs for no satisfaction of her own and in her orphanage for like, you know. She wants to help people, but now she's forced to like, yeah, it's fucked up. And obviously then
she's also dooming her own children to like the same thing.
That's the
pretty
thing.
much.
That's what Hanji said at the table. It was like, so we're thought at the table, like, and everyone kind of thought it's like, so we have to make this fucking deal to go along with Zeke's plan and possibly like sell all of our future generations down the river of like doing this deal forever because
this deal of like, oh, here one person gets the founding titan and what royal blood gets the other titan.
Yeah, and now we're just going to continue the
go.
cycle. We're just continuing the cycle of, but now there's like 2 lines of the founding titans out of the hands of the king so that shit doesn't go back to how it was. But the royal bloodline still needs to continue. And that's the thing is with Historia, it's like the royal bloodlines needed to continue. They like before they made any deal, Historia would as a monarch and someone with like not only just like spiritually and like sort of like the spiritual center of the wall of all the people in the wall, they sort of all believe in that's what monarchs are for. They're like a pillar, and that needs to be continued. But with magic blood powers as well, then it's more of an incentive. So she was going to need to have heirs eventually.
But she also now needs to have more than one.
Yeah, so she needs to make as many as
which
possible.
Which is why I said I would like.
And then possibly die in childbirth, because that's the thing.
That's the other thing. Well, that's what I was saying. Zeke, like, if they're really on board of this plan of like, we need to like have people with royal blood that we know who they are and we can like track them down. Yeah. But I feel like maybe Zeke should be a father a little bit because he could. But
they can't trust like that. What about what happened with Grisha and Zeke? Zeke just betrayed his parents immediately, and like Grisha tried to
Historia's children who are like being bred for slaughter potentially.
You know that they're not in the pocket of another country's military leader. Like
I meant like Zeke now that he's on their island and
they don't know what the fuck Zeke is doing. They're trusting his plan because it's the only thing they can go with.
But still don't know
we don't know what his end game is or like what his fucking deal is. We don't know what he's aiming at. We know that he and Eren are working together seemingly for a common good. And that maybe works out for people in the walls, but like we have no fucking idea what the future holds for these people. That's the thing about everyone in the walls right now. They are completely at the mercy of everyone else. They're like Pixis said, they're infants. They're like the sea connected to them to the rest of the world, and now they realize just how stupid they were. One guy in this episode was literally like, "What even is a nation? What does that fucking mean? Like, all we know is humanity. That's it. We have humanity, and there are laws that protect humans. But we're not the only humans. And people are saying, oh, nations this, rulers that, governments this.
These people are
it's
fighting
like, what?
each other, and these people are, like, kind of on their side, but they also kind of want to use us. And
Whoa. You're telling me that in other parts of the world, people are killing other people by the tens of thousands every day? What? Are you fucking crazy right now? Like, are you telling me that people are just sacrificing lives for no reason? Just for land? Jesus, that's kind of fucked up. You know?
Yeah.
Like, they're so out of their depth. It's crazy to see. And all the stuff with Mikasa, the Azumabitos.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that the Hiruzu country, which is seemingly literally Japan. I think it's Azumabito. Oh no, that's her name, right?
I'm not sure.
You don't remember anyone's name.
Good, then I'll be taking over the country.
Oh, okay. So Azumabito is her family. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, so Mikasa is a literal princess. So the thing with Mikasa is, so the anime kind of fucked this up in the first season. They said in the first season, it's a retcon as far as the anime is concerned. In the manga, this is fully consistent and this was planned out from the beginning. The first time we see, when we're looking at Mikasa's backstory, and we see her mom and dad and her hanging out at the house.
Yeah.
The first thing we see to open up the scene is like Mikasa's mom, Mikasa like ow or something, then Mikasa's mom like wrapping it up and telling her like this, in the anime she says, this style of embroidery has been passed down our family line for generations, and soon you'll be able to teach it to your kid. and then she's like, wait, how am I gonna have a kid? Blah blah blah. All this funny. Oh, maybe you should ask Dr. Jaeger. And that thing happens in the manga. It's like this ink where I forget, they allude that it's like a tattoo or this like this symbol or whatever. And so she had that symbol from the time she was a kid, and she's had it wrapped up. And there were theories before we learned that Levi was an Ackerman. There's, I think, on the cover of the No Regrets volume, Levi is like hanging off the side of the wall or something, and he has like an arm wrap on, like he has his like wrist wrapped, and everyone's like, holy shit, is he like part of Mikasa's family? Because he looks kind of Asian and is really strong. But anyway, so that's pretty cool. But classic Attack on Titan fashion, it's not just this incredible family line. It's a token of our history and something we should be proud of. It's actually that we're doing this so that we can monopolize your resources, so that we're the only island that you can, the only
nation,
the only ship in the ocean to like your only rescue is us. We're the only people at the table with you right now. So if you want allies, we're as good as you're gonna get, and we don't come for free. So yeah. So now they're trying to just use Mikasa, like she said, as a pretext to open negotiations and get exclusive access
you can't
to
really
their...
blame them, because
No, it's just how it works.
They're literally siding with the number one evil in all of the world by even attempting to make any type of negotiation or deal. So it makes sense that they would want something other than just, their long-lost heir that we've been done without with for years and probably is completely irrelevant to our way of life.
Just a figurehead thing, yeah.
So...
It makes sense. It's just kind of funny, because it's classic, like, the exact kind of thing Attack on Titan always does. They always do that of, like, oh, we need to defend humanity. You give your heart? And then it's like... all of the commoners and all this shit, like all the nobles inside are like all these pigs.
I absolutely hate all these like higher up officials and stuff who are just, they're exactly the same as this, like them and like this people in the same positions in Marley are the exact fucking same people. These like racist, horrible assholes who are just like,
short-sighted,
you stupid Marleyans, get over here. Oh, Historia, what a trash queen, what is she doing? And it's like, you're just criticizing everyone and like treating people like garbage, but you're not understanding your own position in the world at large. You're still in your own little bubble of like, oh, well, now we have these people here and previously they were bad to us, so now we're bad to them.
Yeah.
It's the same, they're just restarting the same thing that they've been a victim of.
They're just perpetuating it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it makes, like, whenever I see stuff like that, and it's something that Attack on Titan obviously focuses on a lot, like the incompetency of the people at the top, and that, like, at the end of the day, we're all just, it's all humans, and everyone is just a grown-up kid. Like, everyone's just, like, operating on like momentum all the time from like the people that came before them or what they felt when they were a kid or anything like that, and kind of shaking free of that and moving forward is a big part of maturity. That's like a big kind of theme, like sort of understated but still there, but it's commonly expressed in the story as like all the military police or the nobles or the fucking everyone at the top being just so incompetent and stupid and clearly got there for no reason. It's kind of fucked up. It constantly gives me that feeling that like you remember that moment when you were a kid when you realized that all adults had no idea what was going on and they were just fighting like kids. Like when you see two adults like arguing or whatever as a kid, I just, there were all these moments where I just kind of realized as a kid like these people don't know fucking anything and they're just wrapped up in their own shit, and
it's like when you realize that they know better, but they're not going to do better.
Yeah.
Like every person with a lot of money or a lot of power, it's just like, well, you could do this, but it's
just the idea that they're like, there's no, because with, And I think it's a big thing in Japan as well. There's a lot of sort of commentary on this in Japan. I'm thinking of, I haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot of like people talking about it, of Shin Godzilla, which is a Godzilla movie about Godzilla attacking, but the movie is about like the bureaucracy of Japanese government and everything, and about like every other scene it's like Godzilla's smashing this shit or moving closer, and then it cuts to like a boardroom meeting of a bunch of like officials and like deciding on what clearance we need and who we need to talk to get this in place and move this around to make sure that this is okay, all this stuff. And it's constantly this thing of like, and you see it here where you want to believe that there's like some kind of difference between you. Like you want to believe as a person living in modern society or at all, or just as a kid and looking up at your parents, that it's so tempting to believe that like they have the answers and that like somebody else, there's a plan and there's people that are like separate from you somehow in an upper echelon. They have something that you don't, and that's why they're in this position. That's why they were able to make this thing happen and why you should answer to them. It's like really tempting to sort of believe in that. But then you see like the thing about this show that it does so well is it fully displays that nobody has the fucking answers. Nobody is the moral superior. That's a big thing that Levi talked about in season 3 during the Uprising arc, where like, I don't know if what we're doing is good. I just know that if we don't move forward, we're going to get all strung up, and that's it. And we're going to meet the gallows, and that's probably not good. I'm not saying that like our crusade to overthrow the government and put thousands of people, 1 million people in danger is the morally right thing to do. But I know that this is all we can do, and I think that it's going to work out well. I'm not going to say that I'm the good guy. That's a constant thing where I think that's what makes Levi a good guy, is that he doesn't believe he's a good guy. He's not so sure that he's a good guy. And the problem is with people at it, like those shithead military police, is they believe, or maybe they don't believe anything, and they just got there again based on momentum, and it's total bullshit. It's such a big problem just with people in general, because the truth is nobody knows any better. We're all literally stumbling through everything, and the only thing separating you from somebody who's like in a position of power in government is maybe 4, 5, 6 years of university where they fucked around and did basically nothing, got a degree, learned a little bit, had some experience in this or that, and then just moved up the ladder and kissed the right people's asses. Or they just
got lucky.
Or they were born into the right family and born into a rich family, and then they got paid their way through and are just dumb. Like there's so many politicians in real life who are just fucking idiots. But they think they're smart, and because they're in a position of power, people respect them more and trust their decision making. It's kind of crazy. And that's a big part of what the show does well, is showing just how hollow everything is and how much of a charade everything is. It's one of the reasons I liked Game of Thrones, because there was a similar thing there where like all of these lords and all the people making the decisions at the top are really just fucking drunks who got too much, who have way too much power.
Yeah.
And it's really dumb. So I don't know where that leaves us in terms of like what Eren's doing or what's going to happen. Do those people deserve to die? Do those people deserve to, like, you know, what's the answer? I don't know.
Yeah,
but
you can't really get rid of it seems to be, it's like no matter what type of society you're in, there's like always those people. And I feel like that's the thing, is like you show that in Marley and you're like, oh yeah, all these Marley people almost forget, like at the beginning of this season, almost forgetting that all of the people like within the interior wall, and like we're feeling so high and mighty up in the military police. Yeah. Like when you're watching the thing in Marley, you almost forget that it actually has nothing to do with them disliking the Eldians. The Eldians are just a convenient bottom of the ladder there that they can shit on.
Yeah, and there might be some weird history with like whatever, the Holocaust that happened like 1,000 years ago or something. Like there's a bunch of history like on both, like, you know, you could trace it back to all this stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like, does it matter? Does it really matter? The fact that they can turn into Titans, maybe that's something that we should think about, but like at the end of the day, it's just people, and the only reason they become Titans is because you're forcing them into that role. You're right, it's a convenient excuse to subjugate people and to make things go your way. It's fucked up.
Yeah, and like, and that's the thing now, that these military police, now they have someone new to pick on rather than just poor people. Now it's, oh, these people who are actually on our side, like, they weren't on our side, but they've, like, come to be on our side, but we still don't like them, so now we're gonna treat them like shit. Like why? These people literally were from somewhere else, were raised to hate you, and then in spite of all that, realized that you were also people, and that is, like, worth noting, and they can exist in your society now. Even though maybe it wasn't their first choice, they found a home there. And now, and you're like, oh, fuck these guys for just for being there when you force them to be there. You know what I mean? It's just like this stupid, and it just makes me mad every time I see it. And the show like highlights it in so many different ways of just, there's just asshole people. And then even, like, oh, there's one guy at the table who's not thinking like
Niall,
them.
yeah.
But, like,
Ervin's, like, best
even
buddy.
if he, like, kind of objects, he's not gonna outright be like, oh no, all you guys are just assholes, and, like, sit them down and have a full TED talk about why they're pieces of shit.
Yeah.
He just kind of, like, makes objections, but it doesn't solve anything, and it doesn't make them change.
Yeah. So there's no real answer, because at some point, like, people just aren't willing to accept other opinions. That's why I, like, when I was younger, I used to, when I was first getting into, like, whatever, understanding the world, like when I was like 17, 18, I was so into, like, having deep conversations in which, like, I picked people's brains about their politics and, like, what they thought, because I was trying to figure out stuff myself. But at some point it was just like, nobody really has a worldview, and if they do, it's like me arguing about it and trying to get them to, like, see their fallacies, or, like, what weird things that I like, holes I see in what they think. Like, if they're, like, subtly racist but don't think they're racist, or if they're whatever, this or that, then, like, me just talking to them about it and, like, trying to figure it out, and hopefully they figure it out, is completely fruitless, because they, like, people are just so blind to so much of what they believe that it's fucking weird. I don't know, maybe that's way too deep to get into here, but, like, yeah, it's like, you talk to people there, it's at some point, it's why I don't have conversations like that anymore about politics. I try not to, because at some point it's like, if you disagree with someone about politics or about how the world should be run or this or that, then you're not going to just change their mind by, like, arguing and, like, trying to just talk it out. So, like, exactly in the situation with Niall, it's like, what is he going to do? Like, have a TED talk? Yeah. Doesn't work. So anyway, I think that's about good for this episode of Attack on Titan, unless there's anything more you want to talk about. The whole Eren Titan transferring his Titan over, and
Yeah.
Who do you think would be good to give his Titan to?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, it seems like the problem of passing down a Titan is whoever you pass it to is a bad option. Because the better of an option they are, the worse of an option it is, in terms of, like, especially, like, in that group, you know, you look at it and it's like, they are all probably the best options in this entire place because they have a deeper understanding of what it means and what life will be like for them. However, as Eren, the person in control, definitely doesn't want to give it to someone he cares about, and the rest of them, then it's almost like their group's curse that, like, maybe it will just go from one of them to the other until they're all dead.
And then what?
And then what? And then, you know, it's just, it's like, how can you stop that? And it's the same thing with, like, Marley, where they use children. And it's like, obviously, that's a good choice for them because they can completely brainwash them into believing whatever they want them to believe and be so
and then by the
diehard. And then by the time they're questioning it, they're about to die.
Yeah.
Which is super convenient for Marley.
Yeah.
However, but then it's also bad because then you're literally sending children who haven't, like, gotten the critical thinking skills and their brain hasn't even fully developed yet.
Not even close.
Running in and destroying places.
Yeah.
But then it's also, like I said, it's that's what's good about it and that's what's bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to give it to someone who's really old because then they have such a strong mindset of they'd be like so stuck in their ways. So it's like you can't just like give it to one of those military police guys and then it's just,
or like Pixis. You couldn't give it to Pixis.
You can't give it
also,
to anyone.
it's like some people are too important to have die in 13 years. It's like Jean one day could be a great commander. He could take over after Hanji, possibly. He wouldn't be as good as Erwin, obviously. Like Armin would be the only choice, but he's gonna die in 13 years anyway. So like Jean is a good choice. We want to keep him around for the future because he's going to be necessary. And, like, same goes for everyone else. And you need to have someone smart. So it can't be Sasha or Connie because although they're good fighters, they're, like, not smart enough to, like... I was
going to make this really mean. Like, it's just a bad joke, but I thought it was kind of funny. I thought of it. It's like Sasha turns into a Titan, just starts devouring people because they're tasty.
That's what I was thinking. Like, what if she turns into a Titan?
What if she literally turned into
Yeah, because when Eren first turned into a Titan, he was like kind
of out of it. So like, what if she did that? And even though she, as prepared as she was, those people were really fucking tasty looking. Like, you know?
Yeah. I don't know.
But you know, like it seems like no one in that group should be a good choice because at this point they are like the next generation of leaders for this country and for the military and for everything. So they are all the best choice in terms of who would actually be good at doing it and using it in the right way, perhaps.
But you don't want to lose them.
But you don't want to lose them. But then it's like, okay, either you go for someone older, who's probably not a good choice, based on just their if they are already in the military, they're more set in their ways, they're more in their beliefs, they're less likely to change. But you also don't want to give it to someone younger because then they're a kid. Like, basically, there's no good options here. Like, either way, you lose something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it seems like no one really truly can know the answer on what is the best choice.
So you just gotta make up your mind, make a choice with no regrets, as Levi would say, as Erwin once said to Levi, and then Levi repeated it every time any choice needed to be made. It's true. It's like nobody knows the future. Nobody knows if you should trust the people It's the same thing. Maybe that ties into what Eren's thinking now, is like that what Levi told him in that critical moment of you just need to make a choice. You can choose to trust yourself, or you can put your faith in those who care about you and want to protect you. When he chose putting his faith in his comrades, guess what happened? They all fucking died. So maybe he should just trust himself and act without caring about what they're going to do, and just hope that they'll help him and just be strong enough to make the choice and be decisive. Maybe that's all he's doing. And it did get Sasha killed, but maybe if he just followed the incompetent rulers at the top, or the people who don't have the full picture, or, you know, didn't trust in his own ability, maybe the same thing would happen with Annie, where he waited too long. He could have made the decision to fuck up Marley right now and really cripple them, and you know, do what he needed to do. Or he could, like, you know, if he didn't make that choice, who knows what would have happened? They would have come to the island. Then who knows what the fuck would have happened? It's the same thing. And it's the best part of this part of the story is I don't know what's right, I don't know what's wrong. And it has a similar thing to the end of season 3, writing wise, where like anything can happen. Like, who knows what's gonna fucking happen? Nobody knows what's right. Nobody knows, like. And
also, we still have Gabby and Falco just like
in a prison,
sitting in there. They're just there, and I'm sure they're gonna get out or do something. Like, I wonder if Zeke will be able to visit them eventually. Like, they said that he could see them after he truly, like, puts all his cards on the table. But I don't know. Like, what are they gonna do? Gabby looked fucking angry.
I wonder if Zeke is actually working for the other side or against Paradis, and is gonna, like, get some Titan serum and fucking inject one of them, give them the Beast Titan, and then just have them, like, carry out their shit. Like, I don't know. What is Zeke? What the fuck does Zeke want?
The thing is, I feel like whatever Zeke is doing, it's clearly not for himself, because he's, like, so close to being dead. his his family is his grandparents.
Yeah.
His parents are dead. Like, you know what I mean? The people that he cares about were the people, like the younger, like, future Titans.
Yeah.
However, I feel like he is probably on the side. Like, I feel like he is being pretty mostly honest, but there is something else to it.
I don't know what his endgame is though. Like, what could he possibly want? Since when does he give a fuck about Eldia?
Who knows what he is able to see, or what he knows from memories, or what this or what that. You know what I mean? There's just so many
unknowns.
And
now that Eren is the villain, seemingly, or like the antagonist to the guys, then fucking who knows what's gonna happen, man. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. We'll see you in the next one. Anything more you want to say?
I guess that's it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I was thinking of, like, Eren is locked in the cell, right? And then he's basically like, I can get out of here whenever I want. But then he doesn't, and he just stays in there. Like, that's also interesting.
I think it's just
he's just saying, like, there's not really any point, but he's still going along with it.
Yeah, why start anything? Why kill people? Like, he's underneath a room probably full of at least one person. He doesn't want to just kill people for no reason. But I think he's just stating the stakes, because I think he was just clearing out the bullshit with that, where he was just kind of like, yeah, like I said before, like what can we stop playing games here? It's like the scene when the in Man of Steel, again, another Superman comparison, where Superman is like cuffed in a chair. He has his like legs and feet cuffed as he's sitting down in like behind two-way glass. People are like watching him, and they're like gonna interrogate him, and he's just like can see. He has X-ray vision. He can see right through the glass, and he just like looks at them, just gets up, not even like, not even does that with the handcuffs. He literally just moves his hands apart, and then it snaps in half, and he's just like, why don't we just stop fucking around? Like, you know, what can we just talk? Mm-hmm. It's the same thing of, it's kind of like that. It's like, let's just stop the charade, and just, can we just talk? Like, can we just, what's the point of all this? This cell, ooh, you're gonna lock me up. I'm not kept by anything. You can't order me around. What the fuck is your plan without me? Don't act like you're the one who's like making all these tough decisions and shit like that when you don't even know what's going on. That's what that conversation kind of felt like.
And then Hanji is just like...
But it's dangerous for someone like so powerful to be so set in their ways. Once again, like you said, like if an old person were to get it, it'd be a similar problem. Where also if you get a young revolutionary with resolve to destroy whatever they need to get what they want for peace, then that can be equally dangerous to like a conservative, like the king, like a conservative who just wants to keep the status quo. Like, yeah, like Armin is probably a perfect Titan candidate just in general, because he's so smart, but he's willing to look at things from multiple perspectives. Yeah. And he's fully willing to sacrifice himself. Yeah. He's said that since the beginning. And he's willing to make sacrifices of like other things sacrifice as well. His morality, his he was willing to dirty his hands. That's the thing from the beginning. And I talked to my friend, by the way, about we were talking about the episode because he just caught up with everything, and he was kind of put off by Armin destroying everything, and that's fair. But it was the same thing that I talked about, and I told him about it, and it's like Armin was never the innocent, you know, weakling who couldn't do anything for himself. He's always been the decision maker, the one to pull the trigger when the time's needed, the one to make the sacrifice, to do what it takes to keep shit moving forward. He's never been the what are we gonna do, guys? I don't want to hurt anyone. He's never been like that. He's always been like, I am so ready to lay down my life and to fucking take people down if I'm confident that it will yield a positive result for humanity. Mm-hmm. And that's the only asterisk, is like he's not willing to go off on a hunch and just like destroy so much if it's like it might yield success. Like that's kind of his thing, is his he's unsure sometimes, but when he knows, if I do this, it will give us a chance at salvation. If I destroy all of their ships,
well, then I know that we've guaranteed ourselves this much more time.
Exactly.
And that's what we need right now.
But he's never been the one to, like... He feels bad about himself. He feels like... He'll pity himself and feel like shit, but that won't... He's strong because it won't stop him. Yeah, it won't stop him from doing what he needs to do. And that's what makes Armin a good character, is that he's not just the classic weakling who's indecisive and, oh, I don't know what we're gonna do, guys. He's always been the guy to fucking pull the trigger. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Yeah, I think that's probably good for that episode.
Hope you enjoyed the reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
See you in the next one. Bye-bye.